Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. I hope you're able to hear me clearly. I think I'll get started first by moving on to our stock markets in the CNBC section. And all the futures are looking negative. Yesterday also the market dropped very nicely. And I think overall the outlook doesn't seem to be that great today. And I just want to share my thoughts with you about why this could be happening. And one of the headlines out here is in line with what I am thinking about. It says the earning picture for stocks is deteriorating. How worried investors should be. I'm thinking that I've already been worried for a while. A little bit of fear that all the gains that we have accumulated might go away, and that's the reason why I sold most of my profitable positions and I'm keeping more in cash. The only stock in which I'm still stuck is the ones where I had losses, like SMR, RGTI. There were two reasons behind that. One, I was thinking I don't want to book the losses, and the second, I was thinking that when the market starts to fall, these beaten down stocks will get a gain before they fall. And fairly enough, today Rigetti and SMR have shown some gains. I was also happy to see a surprise bump from Microsoft, which was a bit in the red for me, so I had not sold it. It got a bump because of the quantum chip, and I think today I'll try to sell off Microsoft because I'm thinking that we have reached a stage where policy decisions as well as Fed reaction might sway the market probably towards the wrong side. So a few things I want to say before I get into the indices and everything. I think that the series of layoffs that are happening in government is going to have an impact on the demand. And there are a lot of people who service employees who go and work someplace. For example, there is the coffee vendor, there is the newspaper vendor, and there are so many other services like lunch services and other things which are used by these employees. And then, of course, at their own place, they, if they are gainfully employed, they may go out to watch the movie with their children on the weekend or take them for a vacation and so on. All those things are going to be cut. So basically, discretionary expenditure is going to go down significantly. And I see value in pockets like grocers, retailers who are giving day-to-day essentials like staples. And you can see that those kind of stocks are going to pick up, and essentials like electricity and utilities, those will continue to have value. And even among REITs, those who have got more of residential REITs, and also anchor tenants who are in the basic needs department like groceries and banks. Those REITs can do much well, and then they would act like a proxy to bonds, and as the interest rates go down to stimulate the economy, the share price value of these REITs might go up. So this is the way I am thinking about it. So what's going to happen going forward is that we are going to have a lot of confusion in the market because information is trickling down. And also we have this talk about President Trump saying that he's going to get to the bottom of whether there is gold in Fort Knox. If you remember that the thought of gold not being there in Fort Knox was never there in the last few decades. And that's a lot of gold we are talking about. Getting uncertainty on that area and not resolving it for a long period of time and having drips and drabs of information for and against there being gold in Fort Knox, that's going to have an impact on the market. And also these tariffs are not yet fixed. We have a bit of an advance with aggressive statements and then nothing happening for a period of time and then another deadline coming in. Things are not looking very clear, and that's why if you look at the risk indicator in CNN, you have got the fear and greed indicator. So let me just quickly bring out the fear and greed indicator. So if you look at the fear and greed indicator, we are on the neutral. So neutral basically means that there is a rotation happening from one stock to another. Highly valued stocks are being moved out of and beaten down stocks are being bought up. So that rotation is happening. We have also seen in genomics a huge pickup happening for many of our shares. So I think that that's what is happening in the market. So Mag 7 is definitely going to lose because it's richly valued, and there'll be other pockets, especially in consumer staples, utilities, consumer defensives. Those are the things that might pick up. That's my opinion. Then let us go on to look at our indices, and I'm going to start off with the futures. Let us go into the futures. Nasdaq futures are down minus 0.22%, and we still have support out here, 22,079.75. So I'm thinking that if the government came out clean and gave one-shot information and just closed the topic of the tariffs, did a quick audit and finished off with this speculation about whether there is gold in Fort Knox or not, those kind of things will definitely help us, or else we're going to see this kind of a churn happening with market moving sideways. And when I see this, I think it's also a good setup for a bullish move upward if all the news comes out positive. But right now it's indecision and the support at 22,079. MACD is bullish. Momentum is starting to take a fall out here. And if you look at S&P 500, that is also going down by 0.26% in pre-market trades, still above the 21-day exponential. But we have a resistance out here at 6,156. Which is holding us back. It held us back in the previous 3 days, and yesterday we had gone above that, but today pre-market action we are below it. So that's what it looks like out there. And if you look at the 10-year yield, it's dropped to minus 0.53%. And let's go on and have a look at AI. Today we are starting off with AI first, and I'm looking at Google. It's up 0.08% in pre-market trades. MACD is still bearish and it's repairing itself. Then you have Tesla, which is up 0.27% in pre-market trades. MACD is resolving itself and momentum is picking up, but it's still below average. Our next resistance is $378. And also we have resistance from the 21-day exponential. So both of those things together form a bit of a resistance for today. Then you got to Apple, which is down 0.15%. MACD is good, momentum is flat. We'll see what happens when the market opens. It's not looking too bad, so it should pick up. Meta is down 0.68% in pre-market trades. Meta was one of the very highly valued Mag 7 stocks. So the fact that it's giving up gains is something that is to be expected. I was looking forward to that for quite a while. But now I think it's going to get support from the 21-day exponential, test the 21-day, and then move up. Then we have Microsoft, which was up 1.25% yesterday. and pre-market it's a bit flat, but I'm thinking that it's going to continue its move upward because of the quantum chip issue. I mean, that's a big positive catalyst. So it has lost a lot. You have a big gap down out here that needs to be filled up. So this could be the catalyst. So we'll see what happens when the market opens today. MACD is almost on the mend. Momentum is close to average. So it has to pick up out there. Hopefully it does that this morning. Amazon is down 0.68%. And it's continuing to fall. MACD is looking very weak. Momentum is below average, but it's not become oversold. So let us see what happens when the market opens. At this point of time, the chart is looking weak. Nvidia is up 0.08%. It had tried to pierce this resistance of 140.85 and failed. It's going to make a second attempt, I believe. And we have support at 135.82. So hopefully we have a challenge to this resistance at 140.85 today. Hi Michael and hi Inf. I'm just going to read the comment section and respond. So Inf is saying Palantir is falling hard on news that Trump is cutting military spend. Yes, I think it's hitting all the defense stocks, including AV, but I'm thinking it should be a positive for AV because drones are much cheaper than military aircrafts and all those big tickets. So drones will be the first line of defense, and I'm expecting AV to pick up, but you have the point right. That's why Palantir is dropping down. Plus it is highly overvalued. Tax loss harvest, I don't think so, because our tax loss harvest happens before December. What if Fortnox doesn't have the gold but physical Dogecoin? Yeah, Tesla held the bottom support though. Michael is saying Chinese stocks are doing great. Today Alibaba is up 10% after earnings better than expected. Great performance this year. Yes, Michael, that's what we are seeing. I think the Chinese stocks, I have not paid much attention. I don't have enough knowledge of the Chinese stocks. But the EV, I think BYD has already gained a lot, and Chinese stocks were heavily beaten up, and now the government is giving a lot of stimulus into the market. And every time the USD as reserve currency and US treasuries get a bit of suspicion, then countries like China, which have got a lot of US treasuries, would start moving into gold and other areas. So they'll start decoupling a little bit. So what we are seeing here is doubts raised about gold in Fortnox, then government departments being slashed. You've got RFK Jr. coming in and banning COVID vaccines and now challenging childhood vaccines. So all of these makes US look a little bit like Banana Republic. So I think China might probably try to take the leadership out there. So I think there's a bit of geopolitical into it. And also the fact that if you look at China as a stock, it was oversold and it was beaten down to the bottom. So there's going to be a dead cat bounce at the very least. And then there is going to be a movement into lower price stock to ride the way back up again. So those are the things that are happening. And also if you look at the BRICS, as China is leading BRICS, and you would see that India is now courting US with the visit of Modi to the United States and buying some F-35s and stuff like that. So there is a little bit of stimulus for China out there. So that's the way I'm thinking about it. And also Chinese market is quite big. If you look at US market, it's just the US has got purchasing power, but the market size is not as big as China. And US has purchasing power because right now the way it is located, like with USD being the reserve currency, what happens is that foreign countries like Germany, countries in Europe and China, when they sell into US and when they make profits, instead of parking it in their own country, they send it back into US because they feel the US dollar will remain strong and the treasuries are going to protect them. And therefore more and more money comes into US and the US dollar keeps getting stronger and the US consumer is buying things cheaper. And therefore the 450 million population seems amplified. But you have to look at 1.2 billion population in China, 1.4 billion population in India with low per capita income. So as the US dollar weakens, the market would look stronger out there. So that's the dynamic I'm thinking. So enough of the divergence. Sorry, Michael, I'm going to go back into the charts out here. So Nvidia, I think NVIDIA will pick up again today because at the base, you still need the GPUs, and infrastructure building is still going on. Qualcomm gained 0.91 yesterday, and today pre-market it is still flat. So I'm thinking that it's still going to aim for the target of 200.34 in the long run. It's on the way up. MACD is on the mend. Let's go on to AMD, which is up 0.24% in pre-market trading. I'm kind of seeing that we are having a little bit of a bull channel forming out here. I wouldn't bet on it yet. MACD is improving. I want the momentum also to go above average. Then I would say that we got a comeback happening out here. And then let's go on to Broadcom, which is a custom chip maker. And it's looking okay on the charts, but as of yesterday, it was looking decent, but today, again, we have the MACD going bearish, and momentum is just above average. So I don't know what's going to happen with AVGO, but at least in the pre-market, it is showing a drop. And we had a gap up, which has yet to be filled up. Is it going to do that? I don't know, but in the pre-market session, we are below the 21-day exponential. So I'm a bit concerned about AVGO. Oracle is down 0.62. In pre-market trading, it has already filled up the gaps, so it may as well begin the ride down, but MACD indicates otherwise. Momentum also indicates otherwise. So I'm thinking that Oracle is going to maybe move sideways, consolidate, and then move up again. Palantir, as Inf said, has already dropped 10% yesterday. It's dropping another 3.96%. It's very highly valued, and we have this gap fill to happen. So I'm thinking it's moving towards the gap fill. At least that's what I would like to think right now. And Cloudflare is down 0.14%, and it's coming forward to this gap fill. MACD is tending towards the bearishness, and momentum is dropping. So I think that Cloudflare is going to do the gap fill, and the support with the 21-day exponential is at around 150.74. That will hold for today. And then we go to Adobe. I sold the Adobe, as I mentioned yesterday. I sold all my Adobe at profit of around 4.5 to 5%. I think this cup and handle target is now off the books. Given the overall market situation and the volatility, I think that we're going to tend towards bearishness on the MACD, and the momentum is also going to fall. Today, pre-market, we are down 0.01%, but since there is this gap down which needs to be filled up, I don't know what's going to happen, but personally, I have taken out my money. And SMCI was up 7.97% yesterday. It hit a resistance of 64.10 and came down. This is a doji candle that we are looking at, and today we are down 2.07% in pre-market trades. Again, I would like to see the financials before I start putting money into SMCI. ARM holding is down 0.65%. There were some deals that didn't go through, so it's below the 21-day exponential, and it's going to continue falling because MACD and momentum are not looking that great. ASML is up 1.05%. I'm still eyeing this cup and handle target of 792. We came very close to it a couple of times, but this time around probably we might make it. But MACD is tending towards the bearish side, and momentum is just above average. So I'm going to give the benefit of doubt to the pre-market action and hope that we are going to improve the situation. Intel is down 1.28%. I believe there was talks that TSMC was going to take over the chip section of INTC, and then the talks were beaten down by the fact that there are two different technologies. So Intel has given up some value, and this here is a bearish candle, Japanese candle. So this pattern is bearish pattern. So I'm thinking that Intel is going to give up some gains. And then we look at SMH, which is the semiconductor ETF. So semiconductor ETF is trying to do the gap fill for the gap down that happened somewhere around 24th of January. So there is a little more filling up to be done. And given the strength of NVIDIA, I think that a little more gains is in due for today. And this 0.13% pre-market gives me a positive feeling about that, and also bullish MACD and momentum, which has got plenty of room to go on the RSI. I think it's looking good. AVAV is down 0.21%, but I am thinking that this is a trend reversal pattern that we have seen here. MACD is on the mend. Momentum has picked up a bit sharply. And I'm thinking if you start cutting defense expenditure, then you're going to reduce the personnel because employment costs are higher. You're going to look at less more of maintaining the big items like planes and tanks and those kind of things, because modern warfare is more of drones and UAVs and stuff like that. So I'm thinking AAV should gain up here. And then Snowflake is up 1.31%. I'm thinking that it is still trying to head towards 225.15, but the MACD became red yesterday, or bearish yesterday, based on yesterday's trading action. So I'm going to give the benefit of doubt to the pre-market session. I'm going to still be optimistic about it. Then HBI is down 0.16%. Really concerned about HBI losing a lot of money out there. I'm hoping for this gap down to be filled up. Let us see what happens out there, holding on to my share. Netflix down 0.11%. MACD is still bullish. Momentum is overbought. Maybe a bit of consolidation before it moves down to meet the 21-day exponential. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen out there. Dell is down 0.31% in pre-market, but the chart overall looks good. It could gain back up again this morning. Then I'm looking at Rigetti, which is up 8.79% in pre-market trades. This is a rotation that I'm thinking is happening. MACD is mending, momentum is picking up. Likewise for SMR, it's up 1.80%. MACD is not yet repaired, but I'm thinking the pre-market energy might probably help us to mend the MACD, and maybe tomorrow we can revisit this. But this reverse head and shoulder is off the books. It's not anymore in play. I'd be glad if SMR picks up. Now I'll look at another installment of comments out here. Michael says German and Chinese markets outperform US by far this year. In Germany, we have elections this Sunday. That may help. Yes, that's a good possibility. But if you get a government that echoes what is happening in the US and goes anti-science, then probably that will be a mixed bag. Let us see what happens. What do you think about Barrick and Newmont? They have been beaten very hard, and I think the bonds will continue with gold price. I'm thinking that I would be very positive on gold, physical gold. But when it comes to mines, mines take a long time to pick up. New mines are difficult to be bought into action. And I'm thinking that when you look at mining shares, you've got a lot of other costs apart from gold. So they would have forward contracts, which kind of mutes the gains that they may have. And people who get into a forward contract with gold mines are keeping in mind that they need gold and they don't want to pay a higher price in future. So those kind of things tend to mute the gain in gold share price. But if the shares have been beaten up quite a bit in the past, then you can look at a bit of gain out there. And when you look at gold miners, you have to look at their average cost for mining and refining gold, and compare that with the current market price and the future contracts that they have gotten into. So that area is a bit complex. In the past, I have lost money on mining stocks. So I don't go into mining stocks, but I'm thinking physical gold is a sure bet, and physical gold is likely to go up with more of these policy uncertainties and potential geopolitical tensions that will come up when we have a multipolar world. The US seems to be stepping back as the global policeman, and it is starting to pick favorites here and there. So I'm looking forward to geopolitical tensions and therefore gold going up. So Michael, that's what I would say. And please do share your thoughts in the comment section so that I can refine my own understanding. Inf says, I did see a report that this could be a good year for Europe. Inf, I'm not really very sure about a good year for Europe, because Europe has got energy problems, and Europe has not picked up its defense. So if Russia gets free of the sanctions, and if Russia gets its way with Ukraine, thanks to Trump, then Europe is going to be in for a lot of trouble, and a lot of money is going to go into defense for Europe, which means that there's going to be cuts on other areas. So I wouldn't agree with your sentiments. I would like to hear what Michael is saying. Michael is saying if the Ukraine war ends, it will be a very good year. A new government in Germany will help the economy. So Michael, I would like to have your reactions on my thought process that I mentioned right now. So I'm seeing Europe moving closer to Asia and China in order to offset whatever business it may not have with US. And I'm thinking the purchasing power is going to move towards China and Asia, and you'll have more customers coming in from there to kind of take over the market leadership from US. Right now, US has got less population and more per capita income and higher GDP, and with tariffs and other things, it is kind of destroying that. So I think that's going to be a shift that's happening. And I would like to hear from Michael and Inf and others who are on the live stream about this. Let's go on to genomics while you respond. So I'm going to look at Verve. Verve had dropped 4.89% yesterday, and it's gaining again today. That's the kind of whipsaw action that we are seeing prior to earnings. So there's going to be a little bit of consolidation until earnings come. But overall, the trend is looking bearish if I look at MACD and momentum. But if I look at 21-day exponential and 200-day exponential, I'm thinking that we are still in a bull channel. And even if I draw line out here and look at the trend, even if I do it this way, we are still on a bullish channel. So Verve is looking pretty okay regardless of all of these things. I think it's in a holding pattern until earnings come through. And then Michael is saying that is sure and okay. Next we go to Ginkgo Bioworks, which is flat pre-market. As I said, I think I'm going to give up on this double bottom target for Ginkgo. It's on the way down. It's fallen below the 21-day exponential. It's already below 200-day exponential. So those who have made money, congratulations to you. But now the bets are off. Caribou Biosciences is flat pre-market. It's below the diagonal line of resistance. Doesn't look great. And CRISPR Therapeutics is up 0.45% in pre-market action. It's been finding it difficult to pierce the resistance of 54.35. It made 2 valiant attempts and it couldn't do it, and today it has shown that it doesn't have the energy has gone. So from now onwards, I think we are going to start seeing CRISPR Therapeutics consolidate and move sidewards, and as long as it's about 200-day exponential, I'm happy. So I want to watch another week of price action on CRISPR Therapeutics before making any declarations of what's going to happen. We have definitely seen the RSI overbought is definitely having an impact on the pricing. Grail was up 11.61. They have had a tie-up with another company which has been the cause for this jump on Grail, but now it's consolidating. I think Grail is going to consolidate at these levels, and I would like to watch price action on Grail for another week while I do a little bit of search on the company with which it had agreement and a tie-up, and see what is the basis for this this increase in Grail price. And I'll come back to you with a separate video on Grail. It's for later. Then we have Prime, which is up 0.46% in pre-market action after piercing the bear channel's resistance. So I'm going to convert this resistance into a support. Grail is, I think Prime is starting to look good out here. We are approaching earnings also, and I did not see any news item on on Prime so far. So I'm going to do a Google search for news item on Prime to see if this jump is justified, because it's a very steep jump. There must be something happening which I'm not aware of. I'll find that and I'll get back to you in the next session. Next, let's look at Beam. Beam is up 0.03%. And Michael is saying CRISPR stock price is a miracle. No great move after earnings, and then 3 days later it jumped 15% without news. Yes, that is correct. So a lot of rotation also happening. If you remember the fear and greed that I mentioned about, we have been in neutral for quite a while, and I think that that's what is making the movement a rotation between stocks, beaten up but good stocks. So CRISPR fits the bill. It has got good cash balance, good cash runway, and good therapy, and a little bit of monetization, so it can attract money. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Beam is looking very overbought. I think Beam has got to consolidate and give up gains. So I'm thinking that even though the chart is looking good, Beam have to move sideways and earning is coming. And then we have Altimmune, which is up 0.15%, and it's above the 21-day exponential, trying to cross the 200-day. And it's starting to look good on the chart because momentum has come to average. MACD is also bullish. I hope we have some news about pemvidutide in the fourth quarter earnings report, and I think it's coming up. It's due on Thursday, 27/2025, and once we have that, I hope I'm able to recover my investment in Altimmune. And with these multiple testing of this support out here. I'm thinking that we are due for a rebound. At least I'm biased towards that. Bluebird Bio is down 3.17%. It's not been able to break through to the 21-day exponential. MACD is bullish, but momentum is still below average. So I'm not very optimistic out there. Allogene is flat in pre-market trades. It had a big jump. It's still above the 21-day and the 200-day exponential moving average. It was overbought, and we have the earnings coming up on the 26th of February. It could be buy the rumor, sell the news. So wait for the earnings before you do anything. Again, everything I say here is personal opinion, not financial advice. If you're here for the first time, please make sure you do your due diligence. I am wrong many times. I'm just sharing my thoughts out here. mRNA is up 0.03%, and it's just above the 21-day exponential moving average, which is sitting at 35.61. We are at 35.91. It's a very slim movement up. So I would like to watch for 2 or 3 days of trading and price action before I can declare that we are out of the woods. ARCG is up 1.15% as of yesterday, trying to move towards our triple bottom target, or you can consider it as a head and shoulder pattern of around 32.87. It's still making the move. Chart is still looking good. Pre-market we are down 0.40%. The rotation is benefiting genomics right now, so to that extent I would be happy. But here we have a gap up which happened, which is going to act as a magnet pulling down. So I'll take any gains that come my way, but I'm not really sure that we are going to meet the target of 32.82. Next, look at PACB, which is down 0.56% in pre-market trades. It has still got support at 1.75 this morning. It's just 1 cent above that. MACD is looking good. But momentum is going for a drop out there. So I don't know what's going to happen with PACB. Weakness can give in immediately. Intelia is up 0.49% in pre-market trades. We had earnings for today, but nothing has come out as yet. So once we have the earnings out, I think we'll see some movement out here. This could also be the buy the rumor, sell the news kind of a situation. So be careful. Illumina is down 0.05. As I mentioned, we're going to consolidate until China lets the Illumina off the hook. And then we'll see a sudden gain, because a lot of gap down to be filled up. It could be a sudden jump. So accumulating Illumina around 97.68 would be a good opportunity in my opinion. I would try to do that. The share price is high, so I might try to do that by buying calls. That's the way I'm going to approach it. Let me look at the comment section before proceeding further. Michael is saying if the Ukraine war ends, it will be a good year. A new government in Germany will help the economy. I think Michael would know much better about Germany than what I do from here. So I'll go with what Michael is saying. Michael is saying CRISPR stock price is a miracle, etc. And Inf is saying, I'll be back in a few minutes, friendos. Okay, Inf, go ahead, have your breakfast before you rush to work. IMTX is up 0.84%. I don't know why it is up. Chart is looking pretty weak to me. Editas is up 83.95% as of yesterday. I had put a big question mark out here. I had said the triple, the head and shoulder out here. So let me plot out the head and shoulder. Maybe I should have made a call yesterday, but I was not confident. So the head and shoulder target is, I'm going to clone this. I'm going to put a yellow line out here and pull this up. So even if I had made the target, I would have said go for 2.21. But what we are seeing here is stupendous. The big question is why. So I'm going to do a little bit of Google search on Editas and come back to you. And I will see what is happening out there. But pre-market, it has dropped 15.31%. A lot of people taking profits and exiting. So I don't know what's happening out there, guys. If any of you have any information, please put it in the comment section. Iowa is down 0.35%. It's neither here nor there. Unicure is down 3.06%. Chart is looking very bad out here. Vertex is down Vertex is up 0.18% after going up 2.09% yesterday. But the MACD is mending itself and momentum is also picking up. So I think we are going to be staying steady on this bull channel. Remember, Vertex is a monetized company. It has got monetized therapies. So that's good. And MBOT I think I would be very, MBOT is looking very dodgy to me. It's flat pre-market. I won't touch MBOT. I'm just going to remove MBOT from here. We're not going to talk about it going forward. So those are the situations out there that I was talking about. And I want to go into currency before I shut down because we also have to look at hedges. So I'm looking at Bitcoin USD, which has been consolidating. And I think it's just a matter of time before Bitcoin goes up to the next leg. It has done these kind of consolidations before moving up in the past, and the consolidation has started somewhere on the 12th of November, or I would say somewhere on the 20th of November, and right now we are on the 20th of February. So you got November, December, February, 3 months of consolidation. So we have to look at the MACD showing that the MACD is turning bullish. We also want the momentum to go above average, and I'm thinking I'm very bullish on Bitcoin because a lot of companies have caught them and stashed them away into their treasuries. And we also have the instruments in the financial market like forwards and other things happening because Bitcoin ETFs are there. So all of those things are going to have a moderating effect on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is going to get more in value because as more people want to buy Bitcoin, if you divided all the Bitcoin that is in circulation by the total population, I think each person will have 0.02002 Bitcoins. That's my rough calculations. You can do that with ChatGPT or something. So if that is the case, there are lots of people who don't even have any Bitcoins. They all have got to come in and start buying, and there is not enough Bitcoins to go around. And even after halving, I believe with the use of AI and existing GPUs, Bitcoin mining is still profitable. So all of those things seem to indicate to me that a breakthrough upward is imminent. So today it's already up $748 in pre-market trades. Bitcoin is always around, so I'm going to call it pre-market because we're looking at NASDAQ. And then if you look at Ethereum is also picking up. It was consolidating. I would just like to put a line out here to show that we have not made new lower lows. So I am thinking that we are creating a new bull channel. I'm going to convert this into green. I would be really happy if we cross the 21-day exponential and this diagonal line of resistance. Then I can say that we are creating a new bull channel. But Ethereum is definitely picking up. Momentum needs to pick up. And then I'm also going to look at Solana out here because Solana is also picking up. I think this is a trend reversal that has happened out here, and MACD is mending. And if Bitcoin and Ethereum start moving up, Solana will follow suit. And then I want to go into gold chart because we had spoken about gold. So gold is in my indicators. I'm going to get into indicators and I'm going to look at gold. So this is gold per ounce, and gold has broken out. This is physical gold that we are talking about, and we were in the overbought, and I'm going to draw a line out here to show how high we can go on the overbought and mark it red. And I'm going to adjust this a little bit so that, so that's where we are going to be. So if we are at around 80% on the RSI scale out here, then we'll be overbought for gold. Right now, gold is looking strong. It has broken through the resistance that it had. All-time high has been breached, and we are moving towards 3,000. I'm pretty sure that we are going to attain 3,000. Let me go out into a 1 month time scale and look at gold. Let me go further. Let me do 3 months. I want to get the full chart out here, and we are still in an overall bull channel, so I think there is no way but up for gold. And also you can see that the market breadth has been improving, which kind of shows that there is a rotation taking place. Sentiment is neutral, market breadth is increasing, and the market leaders are decreasing. So there is a redistribution happening. The indices are moving sideways. So overall, I'm thinking that there's a bit of cooling happening. We need to understand what's happening with the government policies, monetary policy, fiscal policy, geopolitical issues. All of them need to be resolved. Remember, the Palestine conflict is not gone. The Ukraine conflict is not gone. We are all seeing smoke and mirrors and everything. That's why I'm super scared. But I'm not seeing the market reflecting my fear. So maybe I'm a fraidy cat. I'm like Chicken Little that the sky is falling. But I want to hear from you guys what you're thinking. Michael is saying short sellers got problems. That could be the case for the Mag 7. maybe the short sellers got a problem out there. And there are some stocks where there is short squeeze happening in genomics. So you could be right, Michael, out there. But overall, if you look at the market, don't you think that we are all overstretched and everything is not hunky-dory? The world order might be changing, the geopolitical equations might be changing, and all the past prosperity that we had, because we knew that there's not going to be any major wars. And if there are wars, they will be contained into pockets and the superpowers will be managing them. All that bet is off right now. So I'm thinking that gold is likely to take the lead out here, and potentially Bitcoin might take a lead out there in a multipolar world, because if SWIFT is going to come up with sanctions and other things, then crypto is the way and the gold is the way we'll be moving. And at this point of time, I think many central banks are loading up on gold. And US dollar as a percentage of global trade has come down from 73% to 53%. And I think euro will take a little bit more of the stock if they change their policies and become more market friendly. And I think gold is another area which could pick up. And I think multi-currencies, the other currencies might start getting stronger against the US dollars. So we have to see how things turn out. Everything is in the hands of Trump and Musk and how they steer US. US has the global leadership at this point of time, and they're chipping away at it, and there'll be a tipping point at which suddenly the US dollar might come down. That's the way it looks to me right now, but then there are really great people in US who might turn the tide, and there might be behind the doors kind of agreements which can salvage everything. So I'm still holding out on that. So in our comments, Michael is saying short sellers, and Inf is saying indexes are pretty much flat now. Yeah, that's what is happening. MagSound is giving up and other companies are picking up. That's what we are seeing in the breadth of the market out here. So you could be right there. All the selling and downtrend looks like it's done. I think overblown selling down and red for now. Okay, we'll see what happens in the market. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, guys. And I've got to go and have my breakfast and come back to do some trading. Thanks and have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Bye Inf, bye Mike, and anybody else who is on the channel. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.